One team has already decided for the championship. One to go as we get ready to take the field here at Canada Field in Vancouver as the Legion play host to the Houston Headhunters here in the semifinals. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Daggs, and joining me in the booth, Gerald Smith, our stats crew tonight, Eddie Gage, and Justin Reside, along with our commissioner and producer, Cameron Irvine. You are watching the Simulation Football League on the Virtual Football Network. Gerald, how are you doing this semifinal evening?
It's a little bit chilly outside this building, but it's really hot in here with these two teams who are really hot teams at various points in the season. This is a number 4 seed in here in Houston and number 1 seed in Vancouver. And see if we're going to have a rematch of last season's championship game, or will Houston spoil Vancouver's hopes?
Mexico City beating the DC Dragons earlier on tonight. Mexico City in the championship for the 3rd straight season. Vancouver was their opponent last season. It'll either be a rematch from last season or a South Division battle in the championship, depending on how this one plays out. Houston will kick things off to get the game started. Vancouver on the field first on offense. Ball is returned, but fumbled, picked up by Houston, into the end zone, touchdown, Headhunters! That is not at all how we expected this one to start, Gerald.
Right off the bat, there's a big hit right here, and this is something that you and I even talked on the side, that this is what Houston's going to have to do, is force them turnovers. We broke it down earlier on in the show. Houston does not force very many turnovers. And guess where it comes from? A Hall of Famer, Brett Killian, gets hit, puts the ball on the turf. Houston picks it up, takes it in. This is looking 7-0 within 8 seconds.
Extra point is up and good. And immediately Houston strikes first. So advantage Houston in this one as they kick to start the game. So they will get the ball to start the second half. And Gerald, we're only seconds into the game, and they already have a 7-0 lead. Kick back to the end zone now, taking it out. Ezekiel Bear, he'll get it up past the 20, tackled at the 21-yard line, and now Christian Brown will take the field.
I can just see it now. They're like, Brett, get on the side. You're already trying to ruin our hopes already. Get on the side. Let Ezekiel grab it and see if we can get better luck. And they did.
So Christian Brown, he'll be in the All-Star game this season. Comes out empty backfield, 5 wide for the Legion. Brown back to pass. Quick pass over the middle. Goes straight back to Killian, showing their confidence in their Hall of Fame All-Star receiver. Ended with over 1,000 yards and number 1 in the league with 10 touchdowns on the regular season. Last week, Killian put on a couple more touchdowns in their dominating win that they had over Sin City.
Yeah, 13 yards per reception last week in their win. Their dominant win last week, by the way.
Brown under center now. He's going to hand this one off. And immediately met by Jason Peace. Peace, an absolute wrecking ball back there in the middle linebacker spot, Gerald. He had one heck of a game, 16 tackles and 4 tackles for a loss last week. And
that leads all teams in playoffs, and guess what? They've only played 1 game. 4 TFLs from 1 player leads the league in the playoffs. So he had a phenomenal game last week. Oh, look at this.
Pitch up top, hitting the backfield, and tackled for a loss. That one went to Devin Lloyd. Couldn't get anything going, and now 3rd down and 9. It'll have to go into Brown's hands.
Yeah, so we're going to see what Christian Brown is actually going to be able to do right here. Now that he's actually got to drop back to pass and actually see if Houston can actually get themselves off the field and get the ball back. And maybe force, oh, look at that.
Action. Oh, he got lost. Brown throws, and that one's broken up. Kai Cash in on the coverage of Ezekiel Bear. And a 4th down and 9, and Houston will get their first crack at it on offense.
Yeah, very good start defensively right here for Houston, right? Being able to get off the field with, relatively minimal amount of plays. That was just about 4 offensive plays, not including this punt right here. And then they're able to get off the field, and don't look now. I do believe they're kicking the DR soon.
And outkick the coverage. Can DR Sim do something with it? Breaks the tackle, gets down to the bottom. Hot pursuit on its way, stiff armed and then brought down at the 33-yard line. DR Sim trying to make things interesting here, Gerald.
He was trying to do his Jared Dumas impression right here. We saw it in the earlier game. Jared Dumas taking a punt back for a touchdown. He almost took one himself. Maybe one more guy to shake and get to it, but Vancouver special team unit is able to bring him down. Look, and these are the things that Houston is going to have to do to beat a team like Vancouver. Look, and that's even weird to say because it was in the regular season. Houston beat this same Vancouver team back in week 7 or 8.
John Lakeman, a.k.a. the Lake Man, under center on first down. Empty backfield look for the Headhunters. Lake Man to throw. Quick pass to the bottom. That one nearly went back the other way twice, as that was an insanely dangerous pass by the Lake Man.
Yeah, and you don't want to get yourself in any kind of a situation where you're going to turn the ball back over. You need to have a clean game to even have a shot against a team like Vancouver because they are so well-rounded. So stay within yourself and keep it clean.
Second down, Lake Man drops back under pressure and sacked. Brought down for a 4-yard loss on the play, and that'll set up a third down and 14 for the Houston offense.
Yeah, coming right on this, Kevin Brackett on the season, he had 6.5 sacks, and he didn't have any sacks last week. He didn't even have a recordable stat last week, but he wasted no time on this first offensive Houston drive to be able to get himself in the stat line.
Third and very long, quads look for the Headhunters. Lake Man under center. Play action, rolls out, down to the bottom, has time, throws middle, into double coverage, and it's caught by Mike St. Green. First down, Houston.
MSG coming right on through. Look, and it's very, very good play design right there where you actually do a play action, you put the Lake Man out in space, and he's able to, he threw it in a tight window there to Mike St. Green, but he's able to hold on to it. And now they were hit by close to midfield. What a way to pick up a third and long.
4 catches, 50 yards. For Mike St. Green last week. Had a big catch there. Pitch down to the bottom. Here goes Tino Sosa. Trying to make something happen. Only gains a yard on the play. Brought down by Mark Lopez, the offense for Houston. John the Lake Man is the quarterback. Tino Sosa and Baloo Scott are the halfbacks. Toriano Rivera is the fullback. Toby Bonnet's Mike St. Green. DR Sim, Greg Corky are the wide receivers. Daisy Peace, the tight end. Baloo Scott gets the draw play on second down. Also only picks up a yard, 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and I don't know how many times you would want yourself in a 3rd and long where you're forced to pass because Vancouver is top 4 in the league in takeaways, and they took the ball away, last week as well.
The Lake Man is absolutely crushed. Kevin Brackett, no stranger to big games and big moments, gets a sack there, ending the drive.
Yeah, Brackett just fought off like the right tackle there and was able to just muscle him, and the Lakeman had nowhere to go. And now look, like after getting no recordable stat last week, Brackett, he's got 2 sacks in the first quarter on this first offensive drive for Houston.
Sonny J on to punt for the Headhunters. Ball drops down inside the 20. Returned by Bear, only for a few yards, up to the 24. And Christian Brown back out onto the field now for the Legion. Threw 2 passes on his opening drive. Only completed one of them to Brett Killian. And the run game, Gerald, has gone for a net of 1 between the 2 carries from J.W. Doyle and Devin Lloyd. So not a lot of offense to speak of quite yet from either team.
Yeah, look, and I think they both had a plan, and when that fumble on the opening kickoff threw everybody's plans in a little bit of a mess.
Handoff. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Guy incognito with the TFL. Let's look at this Vancouver offense. Christian Brown is your quarterback. The halfback, Devin Lloyd. Fullbacks, J.W. Doyle and Jalen Wells. At wide receiver, Nick Lockett, D'Angelo Lopez, Brett Killian, and Ezekiel Baird. John Michael Suddeth is your tight end. Brown throws down to the bottom. Tight man coverage, but Killian, he's a Hall of Famer for a reason.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a mugging, if I say so myself, but Killian with his 6'5", 240 frame, being able to post up and make sure he made some space for the ball and be able to haul it in.
3rd down and 1 now. Quads look. He trips to the top. And hand this one off right up the middle. And that dime defense just not quite ready for J.W. Doyle, who easily picks up the first.
I saw that coming from a mile away, because look, if you watch Vancouver, right, look, and you have to respect them on the wideouts, right, but you need to have a quick reaction right up the middle. Linebacker play should have been a little bit more quicker there.
Same formation. They're going to go back down to the ground again, this time putting it into the hands of Devin Lloyd, who picks up 6. 2nd down and 4. We'll look at the Houston defense. Mac Dre, Don Rohr, Alex Dominguez, and Anthony Stover on the defensive line. Jason Peace, Garrett Evans, Juan Mississippi, and Blake B. Craze are the linebackers. On 2nd down, pitch down to the bottom, immediately recognized by Houston, and a tackle for a loss on the play, loss of 2. The secondary is Dustin Sakasi, John Barnhart, Kai Cash, Guy Incognito, Al Ingram III, and Chris Henry Zeeble in the chat. Micah Gerald, great to hear you on the broadcast. Great job, thank you. That is Carol, that is Matt Wilson's mother. Brown over the middle, has all kinds of time and connects to D'Angelo Lopez for the 1st down.
Yeah, and that's something Houston is going to have to actually do. They're going to have to attempt to apply pressure, because if you allow Christian Brown to sit back and just pick you apart, that's a recipe for a disaster defensively for you, because you don't want that. You need to apply pressure, right? And you've seen how well it worked on the play before. They did a nice run blitz right there, and guess what? It worked. You have to send an extra man to throw off the offense.
Pitch to the bottom again, this time breaking some tackles and getting some good yards. Gets at least 20 before he's pushed out of bounds by Chris Henry. Another Vancouver 1st down, and they're in business.
Yeah, look, and you don't want to let them get going like this, right? Once they get that oil churning and everything else like that inside the engine, they can be very, very tough to stop. So you need to start minimizing. And then what Vancouver is really good at doing over the course of a game as well is just wearing you down, just just establishing dominance against a team, and then it just starts to demoralize the opponent.
Just outside the red zone now. Brown under center now, 3 of 4 on the day. Perfect on this drive. Hands it off. Breaking that first tackle and finding extra space. Gets another 1st down. 1st and goal for Devin Lloyd.
I say oh no right there, because when he stiff-armed the one guy, knocked him into the other guy, and they both fell down, tripped over, and he was just off to the races. But very, very good. Devin Lloyd just showing the power right there and being able to take out 2 defenders and get themselves real close. So this is the drive that we've seen from Vancouver quite often throughout the season, and why they are the #1 seed sitting at 9-3.
In the shotgun now on 1st and goal.
Yeah, dude, they got to be right. If they throw it, I don't know what they're thinking.
I think they're going to do a draw. Yeah, they did indeed. And Jason P says, I don't think so. I knew you were going to do a draw as well. No gain on the play, 2nd down.
Yeah, look, it's no secret Vancouver does. Spread you out, and they're running right up the middle, right? They're getting the matchups that they need. But, man, like, you have to prep for that. This is another one right here. I had anticipating to run right up the middle.
They're going to run it up the middle indeed, and untouched into the end zone. Touchdown, Vancouver, and J.W. Doyle finds his way for 6.
Yeah, look, and what an answering drive, right? After you come out, right, you give up that fumble to scoop and score on the opening kickoff. You give it to Houston, they punt to you, but then you go down there and you only have 4 plays on offense and you don't do nothing. You punt it to Houston, but then you stop Houston from moving the ball. Then you get the ball back, you get your feet under you, you get a little bit of confidence, and now this is when Vancouver can be dangerous. So Houston has to do something, sustain a drive, and be able to keep that Vancouver offense on the sideline, because they are so dangerous.
10 plays, 77 yards, takes darn near 4 minutes off the clock. And Gerald, they did most of it on the ground, 49 rushing yards. out of those 77.
And Vancouver's offense is the only offense in the league that over the course of the regular season averaged over 400 yards of offense per game.
Absolutely insane. Nice kick return now for Houston. Can they get to the outside? Greg Corky tackled by the kicker. We saw that earlier too. In the earlier game.
Yeah, you gotta hit him with the stiff arm, man. Like
you can't just look at him and say it's just a kicker. I'm gonna run him over.
That was the guy. He even attempted to put out a stiff arm, but that could have changed the game. They need plays like that for themselves to actually, slow it down a little bit, right, and just play the game. But now their offense is back out. The Lake man's got to produce, and and so do these running backs. Stay out of the third and longs.
Only 7 yards of offense so far for Houston. They've only had one offensive possession. Pitch down to the bottom. Sosa seats a man down and says, I'm going to get 6.
The AI just needs a reprogramming because he just got lit up. He just took a shock to the system right here. I wanted a replay. But Sosa just hit the AI and just didn't know. Go get reprogrammed and come back.
To be clear, Mark Lopez is the AI.
Correct.
Yeah. Pitch up to the top. Baloo gets a couple. 3rd down and 3 now. Hamilton with the tackle.
Yeah, look, and I think the playbooks is fairly open for them on this 3rd and manageable. Look like it's coming out of run formation here, but man, look at the people in the box for Vancouver. Everyone except 10.
Lakeman under center. Rivera and Sosa make up the eye.
Jeez, that's 8 people.
Daisy piece in motion to the bottom. Lakeman will throw, and he is sacked. The pressure keeps getting home. And Lakeman just can't seem to find somebody fast enough, Gerald, as DJ Woods gets the sack.
Yeah, Woods comes over and gets he too did not have a registered stat last week. He decided to correct that this week. 3 sacks in 2 drives right now. This cannot be something that, Houston is going to be able to consistently deal with throughout the entire game. You cannot have your quarterback getting hit like that, because then he's going to start getting a little bit fidgety and make throws that he shouldn't make, and then that's when things could just flip upside down.
So Houston scores on a fumble scoop and score on their opening kickoff. Not able to get anything going offensively yet, though, as Vancouver was able to have a nice sustained drive going this last time around, and you can see the sack totals as no pressure seemed to be put on Christian Brown on his last possession, whereas John Lakeman on 2 short drives has already been sacked 3 times.
Like a little bit of man coverage here too.
Brown will hand this one off, running straight up the middle. Jalen Wells again picks up 6. That should bring us to the end of quarter number 1.
Man, but the way they ran last week, right under 250 yards, Houston cannot let them establish a run like that on them.
1 quarter down, 3 to go to decide who's going to join Mexico City in the Season 25 championship game. You're watching the Simulation Football League on the Virtual Football Network. I'm Mike Dykes. He's Gerald Smith. We've got Eddie Gage, Justin Reside with us on stats. Cameron Irvine at VFN headquarters on production. Killian in motion down to the bottom. Draw play for Vancouver. Henry runs up in run support. Gets the stop, 3rd and 1.
Yeah, one thing Houston's going to have to do is play. Look, whenever they're going to have to tackle well. So far, they've done an okay job. But when you get a man in the open field, you have to bring him down. Because if you don't, they're just going to carry you on for yards. Oh, what a nice block at
Great
the
block.
legs.
Yeah.
To be able to just derail the linebacker from making a play by the center there. That's very good. We'll see it right here. He just comes out and just chips him a little bit. Wow, Peace didn't know what to do there.
Took Peace totally out of that play. Great job by the center, Oliver Couch. First down and 10 from the 40. Brown to throw, under pressure, hit as he throws, but a one-handed catch by John Michael Suddeth, and they get the first down anyway.
Yeah, look, he comes right there and goes, and Christian Brown got it out of his hand just in time to be able to get it. He almost overthrew Suddeth a little bit, but Suddeth with his huge frame, that he's out there with 6'7", 278. He's almost a glorified offensive lineman out there running routes.
Careful saying his height, though. Kids listening.
6'7"?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't even know. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't get it. I'm old. I don't want to hear it ever again. Don't say his height anymore. He's 6 foot-ish, give or take.
Yeah.
Brown to throw right over the middle. There, wide open, spins for fun, and tackled at the 29-yard line.
Now they are making it look way too easy right now against the Houston defense. Houston has got to do something to slow them down because they're just in these last 2 drives they've made it look, so I get it, this drive isn't over yet, but Vancouver's making it look kind of easy right now.
145 yards to 11 so far in this one, and that's really just from well, this is Vancouver's 3rd offensive possession, but the first one was a quick 3 and out. So only from 2 sustained possessions, 145 yards. Brown to throw, empty backfield, pitch down to the bottom, and Brett Killian just hops up like he's uncovered and brings it down for 9.
Yeah, again, I mean, they're not getting pressure when Christian Brown can take a 2-step drop and sit in there, and the pocket just kind of forms around him and be extremely comfortable and confident. I mean, we gotta send more people to put pressure on Christian Brown to get him off his rhythm. Right now, he's in a very good rhythm right now.
Run right up the gut. Good for another first down. Vancouver just eating up clock, eating up yards, on their way to eating up some more points.
Yeah, look, and they're well on their way, and they're just looking like it's nothing in the way. It's almost like ripping through a paper bag.
Handoff once again goes to Jalen Wells. He'll only pick up a yard. He's brought down on the play by Kai Cash.
See, and this is where when everything starts to get bottled up right there, you think the defense would start to kind of come together and play a little bit tighter, especially play at the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? Because right here, look, if on the surface I'm looking, hey, look, they might run right at the middle on me. They've done it a lot this game so far.
John Michael Suddeth in motion down to the bottom.
Oh,
Brown pump fakes, throws, end zone touchdown. Nick Lockett, and Vancouver takes the lead.
What blocks that they've had right there in the middle. They brought a blitz right there, but it was picked up really, really well. And everything just went really good for them. Got enough time. All Christian Brown did is just slide a little bit and create a little bit of space for himself to just find Nick Lockett right there. Very, very nice navigating the pocket by Christian Brown. That's how to play. Good blocking, picked up block, navigated through the pocket, found a little bit of space, and hit Nick Lockett.
High snap is hauled in. Extra point is up and good. 14-7. 9 plays, 75 yards, taking about another 4 minutes off the clock. So almost an identical sort of drive to their last one.
Yep, look, and this is the thing, too. So Houston has 11 yards of offense right now and has 7 points. So it's that the game's far from over, but they have to get some more productivity out of their offense, right? The run game, it hasn't really taken off yet, right? And they've only had just a couple of passes. So we gotta see what they're gonna do. I mean, they gotta respond in some sort of a way right here because if they just keep giving it back to Vancouver, we could be looking at a gazillion points, right? If the defense can't stop them.
John Lakeman back out on the field. He's only thrown the ball twice, Gerald. Completed 1 pass to Mike St. Green. That's about the extent of the offense so far. Lakeman's going to hand this one off to Sosa, trying to get something going on the ground, and he'll pick up 7.
I think those are the things you got to do. Slow the game down.
Yeah.
Get back control of the game, right? You have this power rushing attack, one of the best rushing offenses in the league right here. Use that to your advantage and slow it down and keep that offense on the sideline. And then having those sustained drives and putting points on the board can go a long way for you. Oh man, there's a huge gap right in the middle.
High formation, Lakeman under center, hands this one off to Baloo Scott. Baloo Scott breaking through, getting up to the 40-yard line. A big gain for the Headhunters.
I like the way they're starting this drive right now, right? With the run, and they got big, huge chunk plays on their first 2 plays of this drive. And they're getting, right here by the 40, their own 40-yard line. So it's actually working out pretty good right now. Stay with it. Keep that offense on the sideline. And think about it. If you go down, you do a really long sustained drive, you give Vancouver very little time with their offense. If you put points on the board, you can get it right back after half because you get it after half.
Sosa lowering the shoulder. And poor Mark Lopez has been crushed multiple times now.
Poor guy. Maybe he's rebooting right now. Who knows?
He's still in the process of rebooting. It's Vancouver defense on the defensive line. You got Kevin Brackett, Achilles Papatonis, Chris Joseph, and Gerald Giudice. The linebackers are Josh Farnsey, DJ Woods, and Marquise Reed. 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. They'll put Corky into motion from the bottom to the top. And that one off to Baloo Scott, immediately hit in the backfield. Great pass rush that time by DJ Woods, a run rush, I guess I should say, with great pressure applied.
Yeah, look, and if you look at it right there, they had 8 men in the box, like right off the bat too. I mean, so they kind of knew what was kind of coming right there. So they schemed really, really well to be able to play. Here we are again. And they have another 8 guys in the box.
The leg man going to throw. No, he's going to get sacked once again. DJ Woods fires into the backfield. That time it was pass rush. I knew it was coming.
Yeah, look, and they just sent way more people to blitz in here than what Houston had to block. And when you got numbers like that on the defense, if the offense can't get the ball out really quick, it's a sack every time. And that's now 4 sacks on the day for Vancouver.
Punt is away. Didn't even get to announce the Vancouver secondary. Emmanuel Blackman, Michael Lister, Ron Hoff, Jack Russell, Drew Hamilton, and Mark the AI Lopez makes up the secondary for Vancouver. They've been playing absolutely fantastic so far in this one. Houston able to triple their offensive production, but not to the avail of any points.
No, because and that's what they need. They're going to need here, because what Vancouver does really well, more than anyone else, score a ton of points.
I already have 14 on this one, and that's even after spotting Houston a free 7 to start the game. Brown back to throw, has time, pirouettes, throws it to the one and only Killian.
So much time Christian Brown is having, and it's credit to the offensive line, right? Being able to hold their blocks right there. But man, right now, Houston's wondering like, hey, what do we got to do to slow them down right now? Because outside of that very first offensive drive by Vancouver, Houston has struggled to actually get them even just one play on a drive to no gain.
Brown hands it off, immediately hit at the line.
And there's a no gain. There you go.
Incognito with the tackle. A lot of people in the chat. Appreciate everybody being here for this one. Only 1.5 games to go left here in season 25. Wide open, Ezekiel Bear, right over the top.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, that went right over Jason Peace's head. I don't know how he didn't put his hands up. Kind of got should have gotten right in the passing lane right there. And man, but they're just doing it with precision right now, the Vancouver offense, and they're just steadily going down. It's not just a couple yards here, a couple yards there. These are 5, 7 to 10-yard plays.
Those broken tackles are absolutely brutal. As Jalen Wells, just a tough back to bring down at 6 foot, 250. Been in the league 12 seasons. This is his first season with Vancouver, and certainly helps a lot to get them to this point.
Yeah, and he's one of 2 fullbacks that actually takes a heavy-handed load in rushing the ball.
Running right up the gut is J.W. Doyle, one of the other ones. Gets him almost to field goal range as they're looking to make it 3 consecutive scoring drives.
They have King Henry in some ways in the middle linebacker spot, and I don't know if I agree with that. Yes, he's fast, but he's not built to take on an offensive lineman, say what's like a linebacker is.
2 minutes to go here in the first half. Vancouver with the lead and on the move. You're watching the Simulation Football League on the Virtual Football Network. Four wide receiver set from the 32. Brown hands this one off down to the bottom. Still breaking tackles and an injury on the play. And it's Jason Peace.
Their best defensive player. It is not good.
Let's see if we see him come back out onto the field. That is, as you say, Gerald, that is a devastating loss for the Houston defense. Is the defensive captain coordinating everything going on out there.
Yep, and he had a monster game last week, and they needed him to do the same thing this week. Without him there, I mean, I don't know what they're going to have now.
Well, especially when Vancouver likes to run up the middle quite a bit, and that's your one line of defense right up the middle. Pressure on its way, and Brown had to get rid of it quickly. 3rd down and 8, but they are in chance to wins field goal range.
It's an opportunity right here for Houston, right? Like I said, they don't pick the ball off particularly well, but they have to do something to force Vancouver in an uncomfortable situation, right? Give them different looks. And everything else, right? Look, they know it. Look, and I like how they audibled out of it on defense right here. Maybe to give them a different look.
Angelo Lopez in motion up to the top. Brown drops back, quick pass in the middle, double coverage nearly intercepted. Dustin Sikossi had his hands on it, could not haul it in. 4th down and 8, and 2 went on for a long field goal.
Yeah, and that's what they needed right there. At least slow them down a little bit, right? If you can't completely stop them, slow them down a little bit. Giving up a field goal here is better than giving up a touchdown. But Houston has got to get the offense because the offense has not gotten past midfield the entire first half.
47 yards from the left hash is up and good. That one had a lot more range on it. We saw Chaz Blackwater try to kick a 53-yard field goal in the earlier time window, and he don't have quite the same leg as Mr. Two-Win.
Just short.
Yeah.
Just short.
Darn wind.
Stupid wind. You'll play it outside.
Yeah, man.
It's different in Mexico. You guys got random wind.
Yeah.
It ain't the same.
Okay. Kick goes about 8 yards deep in the end zone. It will be kneeled down by Corky. Houston gets the ball thrown 20-yard line. All 3 timeouts. Minute 45 to go here in the first half of action. Houston will get the ball to start the second half.
I wonder what they're going to do here. Are they just going to try to run it out, or are they going to be aggressive?
I think they're going to try to run to see if they can get up closer to midfield. Tino Sosa says, I'll see what I can do there. Picks up 7.
Vancouver nearly doubling up the plays of Houston. Look, and when the Houston offense isn't out there very long, I mean, there's no way for you to put up any points if you can't convert those 3rd downs to 1st downs.
Right. And it off to Blue Scott, bottled up in the backfield, can't quite get that 1st down. 2 yards shy, in fact, 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, I think they're just going to do the same thing here, just try and run it out and see if they can convert it.
Well, now you don't want to give Vancouver an opportunity to put up even more points before the half.
Dude, there's 9 people in the box.
Sosa takes the handoff, runs down to the bottom, gets the 1st down, but Houston content to let the clock continue to roll.
Yeah, and I'm just very blown away by how many people Vancouver is putting in the box against this Houston, offensive front.
Lakeman throws down the middle, and that one's incomplete. Was trying to get that one to DR Sim. The pass is broken up. Clock stops. 32 seconds.
Yeah, and look, and they only got one completion on the day, and that was to Mike St. Green, and 2 yards per play. That's not, I mean, you do the math on first, second, third.
Yeah.
You're 4 yards short every play.
Lake man to throw again, goes over the middle, finds his target, and down the field all the way to the 34-yard line. A great catch and run by tight end Daisy Peace.
Daisy Peace coming up real huge. Now they are on the verge of getting into field goal range to cut this down to a 1-score game. This could be really huge. Daisy Peace just getting behind the linebackers and nearly past the safety.
Lakeman back to throw again, finds a target up top, but can't haul that one in.
Right off the chest, right off the numbers.
Yeah, that was a perfect pass. Back shoulder.
Wow.
Receiver just not quite ready for it. Couldn't haul it in. 2nd down and 10. That was a 30-yard completion to Daisy Peace to set him up at the 35 here.
That was a missed opportunity right there. I don't know who it was.
It was Sim.
Wow.
Rare drop by Sim. Difficult catch, but one he usually will make.
Oh, Hall of Famer like that.
Lakeman to throw, goes back that direction and finds his target that time.
Timeout. That's great quirky, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was quirky. 2nd timeout called, 1 remaining.
Now what they need to do is just like not get yourself in a bad situation. Don't throw points away right here. You know, Sonny Jade's extremely talented, 9-year vet, an all-star last season.
Empty backfield. Lakeman threw, I won't even say it.
Jeez.
Lakeman back to pass, goes up top, and into the end zone. DR Sim, touchdown Houston. They're right back in it.
They are right back in it, and guess what? Right there, it was a mistake, I do believe, by Ron Hoff. He went for the interception and missed, and he left DR Sim on the back end to catch that ball and get it right in. Right there, seeing Ron Hoff miss the pick, and when you do that, guess what? You have to make sure you're going to catch it, because now it got Houston right back into the game. What a way for Houston to respond with their 2-minute offense and potentially close this game within 3 points. And in 12 seconds, they will get it back after the half.
8-play, 79-yard drive, minute and a half off the clock, and they got into the end zone for a touchdown. And Go Knights charge on, who's chance 2, and he's in the chat. And he knows what I was going to say. I was going to say the Lakeman threw 3 interceptions last week. They still won, but they threw 3 interceptions last week, and I was about to say it. I said, I'm not going to say it. Chances like, you should have said it, because, you know, the whole broadcaster's curse and all.
Yeah.
I can't do that to the Lakeman.
No.
Now I've said it, though.
You ruined it.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
But look, DR Sim says, get off me, and we get the ball back after the half after that touchdown.
They sure do.
He is hype.
Christian Brown throws, gets that one complete. That could have been a dangerous proposition, Gerald, if that was a interception right there. But clock hits 0, and an exciting first half has come to a close, Gerald. It started off with a bang with the fumble on the opening kickoff, scoop and score for a touchdown. Houston out in front early. Vancouver puts up 17 unanswered points, but Houston, not to be outdone, says, hang on, we're not done yet. We want to go to that championship game just as much as Vancouver does. 17-14 your score at the half. Vancouver out in front. Gerald, as we head to the halftime stats and highlights, what are your thoughts so far on the game?
Yeah, look, Houston started out, like you said, like with a bang, getting that fumble early on and being able to take it in there, and they scored points. Vancouver, like you said, scored, 3 scores of themselves, but guess what? They opened up the game. Houston did put points on the board, and they ended it right after at the first half, putting points on the board to keep the game close together and then receiving. So look, it's going to see what adjustments will be made by each of these teams at half. Is Vancouver seeing something that, hey, look, that they can further exploit, or can Houston say, hey, look, we see what we did wrong, we're going to make those adjustments, and we're going to have a different second half? But it's going to be real interesting to see. But Houston cannot wait until in the 2-minute drill before they get their offense going.
Right, yeah. They need to be more efficient than that. Christian Brown, 10 for 13, 10 of 13, 136 yards and a touchdown. Played a very clean, very efficient first half. That's what we saw last week, too, from him, Gerald. He went 13 of 18, 158 yards, 3 touchdowns, and completed 72% of his passes. No interceptions thrown. Greg Corky takes this one out of the end zone, stiff arms the defender, and then tackled at the 24-yard line. That is where Houston will come back out onto the field on offense. The Lake Band's only completed 4 passes so far in this one, Gerald. He's only thrown it 7 times. His only touchdown went to DR Sim right there, as you said, in the 2-minute drill. But 4 completions, 4 different targets.
And that was Sim's only catch of the first half on 3 different targets. So, and it was a big one because they needed it.
First down and 10. Lakeman under center is going to hand that one off to Sosa. Going to try to get Sosa going. It was a quiet first half for Tino Sosa. 6 rushes for 30. Picks up 8 on the first carry of the second half.
Yeah, I do think, look, if they can keep the run game going and get the timely passing, they can start to dictate their game. Look at all the crazy people. It's 9 in the box.
And that's why, though, because they want to get that run pressure. And got Baloo Scott in the backfield, tackled for a loss of 2 on the play. 3rd down and 4 coming up. And now what do? Do you put it back in Sosa's hands? Do you trust Lakeman? He's only completed 4 passes.
I don't know. It's hard to say what is actually working because we haven't seen really one good drive so far.
Nickel defense from Vancouver. Pass is out to DR Sim. He gets his 2nd catch of the day and picks up the first down. I think that's what we need to see more of from Lakeman is some of those quick passes. He took the snap and then immediately said, all right, send him down there somewhere and just throw it to him.
Look, especially if Vancouver's going to bring some pressure, right? They're bringing an extra man or two and playing a lot of man, but you need your offensive linemen to just kind of hold true and give the quarterback a little bit more time, and they did right there. But look, when you throw it into DR Sim's range, more than likely he's going to get his hands on it.
Lakeman. Throws almost an interception to Drew Hamilton. Gerald, there's an owl sitting outside of the booth.
I do see it. He's just
there's an owl outside the window
and just looking and being like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Well, owls like football too.
I was about to say he see the game got real tight. He's like, "I gotta see it." Everybody says Vancouver's gonna run away with it, but that's a lie. Guys, you need to come check this out.
2nd down and 10. Owl just kind of threw me off. It flew away. All right. 2nd down and 10 now. Lakeman, quick pass, finds Corky, gets the first down. This quick pass game is working. A halftime adjustment, perhaps.
Yeah, because I mean, when you get sacked 4 times, the Lakeman's like, "Hey, man, you guys got to help me do something here." And guess what? You know, taking about a 3-step drop, doing nice, quick slant routes because they are bringing extra pressure in there. And when you bring extra pressure, there's usually a gap in between where your linebackers used to be on the defensive side and your safeties. If you can get the ball out quick and get a good route run, your wide receivers typically are open.
Lakeman back to throw another quick pass, going back down to DR Sim, and they're just going back to the well. Got to be careful going to it too many times, but right now that play's working really well for them.
It's working. Look, and this isn't a little bit of yardage right here, man. This is 8 to 12 yards a pop that they're getting right here. So, and they got themselves right in field goal range right here. Look, and they're doing it in the passing game. I don't even think we've seen a run yet so far. Here's an empty set.
Lakeman under center, drops back, short drop, quick pass into coverage. That one's incomplete.
Over the middle is really dangerous. Look, and that's a pass right there. And you can see Mike St. Green as they're getting up right there that he's like, hey, I got to catch that. I have my hands on. I got to bring it in. I got to help out my team, you know, try and get us to the championship right here. So, look, we're going to see what they're gonna come out. Spread.
Strong eye spread. Lakeman back to throw over the middle. Finds Sim down at the 4-yard line. First and goal. DR Sim coming in clutch here in the second half.
Look, he said it in the chat earlier. Get off me. And guess what? He showed up because they say just get me the ball. And guess what? The Lake man says, hey, I need a little bit more time. DR isn't where he needs to be, and he finds him open, given a little bit more time. Now they're inside the 5.
Coach Simeon calling for his offense to run the ball. They come out in a running set. Box is totally blocked off, but running towards the end zone, getting tackled at the 1. Jack Russell with a touchdown saving tackle. 21 tackling 21. Second and goal.
Man, the Bulldog is able to bring him down. I thought that was a touchdown by Schultz. I thought he was just going to carry Russell right in there, but
same formation just flipped. Everybody in the box for Vancouver, except for one guy in the back. Sim in motion up to the top. Lakeman under center. Baloo Scott. No, they hand it to the fullback. Pushing forward into the end zone, and Houston reclaims the lead.
What a surprise right there. They give it to Rivera right up the middle, and Rivera didn't have a carry last week, and he has one of the biggest right now in these playoffs for these Houston Headhunters to come back after 17 unanswered points and to score 14 unanswered points of their own.
Toriano Rivera with only 2 touchdowns all season. Gerald, he only carried the ball 14 times. Comes in clutch right there. Extra point is up and good. 21-17, a 10-play, 76-yard drive, 3.5 minutes off the clock. Dare I say that drive looked very similar to what we saw Vancouver doing in the first half.
Yep, and guess what? Whatever adjustments they seen in the Vancouver defense, they were able to address it, right? Like they said, hey, you know, Lake man says, I'm getting blown up back there, right? These guys didn't have a sack or even registerable stats all last week.
Right.
I've been sacked 2 times each by these guys, and we got to do something. We need to get those routes in there. It's going to allow me to get the ball out of my hands a little bit quicker, and it worked really well.
Total yards since the first quarter. Houston 180, Vancouver 134. So first quarter, listen, it started off Houston's way with that fumble scoop and score on the opening kickoff, but offensively, I think they had 11 yards. It was a rough first quarter. Maybe got it up to 33 at some point, but since that time, done quite well. Now, Vancouver's first drive of the second half, let's see what they are able to do as they start off with a 5-yard run down to the bottom. I expect Vancouver to keep doing what they've been doing. It's, you know, they've been able to move up and down the field and score at will.
And what Houston was able to do on the last drive by Vancouver, they didn't completely stop Vancouver. They slowed them down and forced that field goal, right? And that was a confidence builder for them, I believe.
Running up the gut once again. That time picking up 4 yards as Jason Peace watch continues. Is injured in the first half, and we do not know yet if or when he'll come back. 3rd down and 1. Pitch down to the bottom. First down easily obtained and more. Gets about 5, maybe 6 on the carry. I'll leave that to the statisticians, but Devin Lloyd picks up a Vancouver first down.
Right, and these are the moments like this, right, in those yardage situations where a guy like Jason Peace is extremely valuable, and he's a high-level player. And him not being a 3rd and 3 and 3rd and 4 type situation, that linebacker position it's not quite the battle Houston wants to take on with the backup linebacker in there.
Bernardo Harris currently out there, and Harris went the wrong way. Al Ingram gets the tackle though.
It's getting owned right there, right? So when those offensive linemen are getting to him, they're just kind of destroying him. I don't know what else to say. They just are. And they weren't doing that with Jason Peace there, so.
2nd down and 7 from their own 37. They'll pitch that one down to the bottom. And Houston's defense read it very well, but couldn't get it stopped. As J.W. Doyle able to pick up a first down. Fresh set of downs for the Legion. This drive will continue.
Look, and one thing you got to think about with some of these teams, right? A lot of running backs say, hey, look, I don't need you to give me this gigantic hole. I just need you, running backs to tell the offense, I just need you to put a hat on a hat. I'm going to take care of the rest. And that's a situation right there where the lineman put a hat on a hat, and he took care of the rest.
3-yard pickup on first down. And first man there was Bernardo Harris. Jason Peace's replacement bounced off, but even with Peace out there, like this is something that we've seen a lot today, and every game that Vancouver has, the first tackler rarely gets the tackle. Yeah, in that case, Chris Henry was able to get one as we tick inside 4 minutes to go here in quarter number 3.
And this game is ticking by really fast. Why? Because both these teams have put together some methodical type drives in this third quarter right now. Like Vancouver's picking up, 5 to 6 yards per attempt on per play right here, and they're just kind of milking the clock out a little bit.
Running right up the gut once again and breaking
my
through.
God.
My goodness, what a run. Like that just shows the dedication to the run from Doyle. Hit behind the line, stuffed for all intents and purposes. That play was done. And Doyle's like, no, it's not. I didn't get my first down yet.
Yep, and he just bounced off. Really, really patient right there, right? Being a fight off a guy, and all of a sudden a hole emerges, and he just hits it.
Empty backfield look, finding John Michael Sudduth for a pickup of 9, and Vancouver starting off the second half right where they left off in the first half, just working their way down the field in small chunks.
And that's the thing, like I think Vancouver is really comfortable just saying, yeah, we'll just try and outscore our opponent, because our opponents don't score as many points as we have during the course of the season.
Brown in the gun. On 2nd and 1, I would expect another draw play like we saw in the first half. Brown does indeed hand that off right up the middle. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Such clear running lanes that they're getting, especially when they spread the defense out a little bit, right? And like I said, look, you can see right there, there's a hat on a hat. And when you do that, they're occupied, and then you can choose where you're going to go. Why? Because the offensive linemen are holding their blocks very, very well. And 1st and 10, they come out in a quad shotgun.
A pitch this time down to the bottom, and Chris Henry read that one like a book, but still able to pick up 3. 2nd down and 7 for the Legion.
Yep. Look, it's crazy how they're going down there and taking up all this time.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's tiring for a defense.
Back up the middle. And getting the tackle, and Bernardo Harris just looks lost. He was not planning on having his number called.
He is not the guy. He was probably on the sideline eating Cheetos, but like, what, me?
Yeah.
Probably had his hands on a Pringle can or something.
Jason Peace needs to return. 13th play of the drive here on 3rd down and 5. Can Houston get a stop? Brown has all kinds of time. Throws middle. That one's tipped and incomplete. And field goal unit coming on, and Houston will maintain their lead for now.
That is a win for Houston right there on this drive, right? And this is where Vancouver don't want to get themselves either. They take these long drives and come away with field goals.
Yeah.
So, look, and they are down. Now, their defense in Vancouver is going to have to respond to not allow Houston to put any more points up on the board so they can somehow try and get the lead. Look, 14 plays.
Yeah.
5 minutes of game time.
But resulting in 3. So DJ Kilgan in the chat says 72 watching and 13 likes. Come on now. I agree. Like this video. Please support our hardworking crew by smashing that like button, subscribing, and commenting on this video. It really helps the channel out. Please turn on your notifications so you never miss a live stream, highlight, or podcast. And thank you for your support of the Virtual Football Network and the Simulation Football League. You definitely don't want to miss the championship game. It's coming up on Friday. It'll be the Mexico City Aztecs versus the winner of this one. Coverage starts at 8 p.m. Eastern with the pregame show. The game to immediately follow right after that.
Keep smashing the like button. If I get a bonus, I'm going to share it with everybody.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
I don't know what
do.
Bonus you're expecting, but...
I don't know. Let's get them likes up. I'm sure I'll get something.
I got some Tootsie Rolls in my pocket. Lakeman, I don't know what that even means. Lakeman throws that one down to DR7.
It's a family show.
Dude, Tootsie Rolls are candy. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
I don't even, like, what euphemism could you even be thinking?
I do think Tootsie Rolls are not a very good candy.
No, they're the
so why would
bottom
you
feeder of candy.
So if you're going to have candy in your pocket, why would you have those?
They don't melt.
You hate children.
Well, yeah, but Lakeman pitches that one out to Sosa, breaks a tackle. Can't break through Hamilton, though. Hamilton, that last line of defense has been exactly that making every tackle that he's been part of so far tonight. 3rd down and 2.
And this, I do think this is a pretty big 3rd down right here in this game as they throw every person on the sideline in the box.
I think there might even be a fan on the field down there in the box. I'm counting way too many helmets. Lakeman hands this one off. Blue Scott can't make that tackle get broken. Josh Farnsey with the stop and a tackle for a loss. A quick 3 and out.
Yeah, because that was all that was in between. The first down was Farnsey, and he made a very good open field tackle, because if not, he's running for at least 10 to 15.
Final play of the 3rd quarter. A quick moving 3rd quarter. A punt that drops down to a face mask. That one was obvious.
Wait, what?
Ripped him right down to the turf. He incidentally ripped his head right off his body and spiked it into the turf.
Wow, he didn't mean it. Only
No,
tried
it was
to
an accident, I swear. 3 quarters down, 10 minutes remains to decide who is going to join Mexico City in the Season 25 SFL Championship game. 1 point separates these two teams. Brace yourself for an exciting finish. I'm Mike Dykes. He's Gerald Smith. We've got Eddie Gage and Justin Reside on stats. Cameron Irvine on production. Appreciate you joining us. Vancouver lost their lead early on in the 3rd quarter. And desperate to get it back now. Handing it off. Jason Peace still out of the game. 6-yard pickup for the Legion.
Yeah, and in Houston right now we got a good sample size, but Houston is playing a lot of man coverage today on defense.
Going back down to the ground again and getting another 1st down. They're just they're able to do it almost every time, Gerald. They don't need to pick up a 1st down every time they touch the ball, but if they can just keep picking up 5 every time, you're never going to stop them.
No, look, and that's the thing. Look, and note to the situation. Look, I know they got the speed right there in King Henry in those situations, but he's just not getting there quick enough, and he can't bring the ball carrier down.
Brown hands this one off. Once again, picking up 3. That's a generous spot for Houston, as that one looked like maybe one a little farther.
I mean, because they're getting blocks from the offensive line, and then they're getting blocks from the tight end. They're getting blocks from the actual wide receivers, and they're owning it. Vancouver is actually owning it right now in terms of the run game and the blocks that are getting from the entire offense.
Brown on the draw play, hands off. Oh, Chris Henry gets ejected.
That's what I'm talking about. He gets there, but he's not doing a whole lot. Look, I love King Henry as much as the next guy, but man, he was just outmatched in that matchup and got blown up. Jeez.
Jason Peace accounted for 16 tackles last week, 91 on the season. Had 4 TFLs last week, 16 on the season, and now out of the game. And his backup did a thing.
Wow.
4th and inches.
And this is going to force him to it's going to make Vancouver make a choice.
If I'm Vancouver, I'm going for it.
Yeah, like I would too, and they are. And
yeah.
This is the smart decision.
Brown.
They're running up the middle.
And they should. I mean, Houston hasn't shown that they can stop it. The only runs they've really been able to stop are those ones to the outside.
Vancouver has so many numbers in this situation.
Brown on the draw, hands it off, and he gets the 1st down. Barely, but got the 1st down.
Devin Lloyd made himself skinny and got through the offensive line. That was a little bit scary for me.
Oh, yeah. I got another Tootsie Roll there right now. This is a bad joke. 5 wide for the Legion.
Look at the time.
Brown just standing there, decides to take off and run, slides for safety. Picks up 9, 2nd and 1.
Wow, he could have made himself a sandwich with the amount of time he had back there. But look, this game is nearly probably going to come down to the wire here.
Ezekiel Bear earlier on says 9-minute drive would be wild. They're about halfway there. Running down to the bottom, getting up inside the red zone, just fighting for extra yards. Jalen Wells gets all the way down to the 19. First down and 10. Inside 7 minutes we go.
Man, look, and here we are, just 70 yards right here, and they just have such ball distribution between the two right now, and they have, you know, they're approaching 200 yards. You know, they're not far off, you know, 150 plus yards on the day right now on the ground.
Brown back to pass. Makes another sandwich, throws the ball, and it is picked off. Tipped and picked off by John Barnhart, and he gets it up past the 20-yard line. A huge turn of events for the Houston Headhunters.
Nick Lockett's out.
And Nick Lockett is now down. The injuries continue.
Oh, my God. Was it a tender for Nick Lockett there? He got hit? Oh, yeah.
Nick Lockett was the intended target, and he got laid out. He's walking off the field.
Wow. And this, look, and we talked about Houston, if they wanted to win this game, they had to force a turnover or two to get themselves in a situation to win this game. They got one early on in the game. Now they have one in the fourth quarter, and they can actually take this game down to the wire depending on how they decide to play it.
Now the Headhunters with an opportunity for a long drive. They'll start off with a Tino Sosa run. He'll pick up 3 yards, second down and 7.
Wow.
And Houston's going to have to play this smart because Baloo Scott has not been as productive as Sosa. 7 rushing attempts, 15 yards, only averaging 2 yards a carry. They're going to want to burn clock, but they need to get first downs here.
Yeah, but I do think they need to spread this defense out a little bit.
They pitched that one up to Sosa, and it's a tackle for a loss. Achilles Papatonis firing right into the backfield, and the 3 yards gained by Sosa gone. Third down and 10.
And this is when you need your playmakers to make plays right here. This is where DR Sim, the veterans, and DR Sim, Greg Corky, and Mike St. Green need to come up big right here.
Rollout down to the bottom. Lakeman has his pass
by Brackett
down. Absolutely. Kevin Brackett has a couple of sacks in this game, and now a crucial pass deflection, breaking that one up right at the line.
If you can't get to him, put your hands up, and the big man put his whole body up and may hit him in his gut.
A quick 3 and out is an understatement. That was an insanely quick 3 and out. And Sonny J on to punt. Vancouver will get the ball back, and now, honestly, it almost plays into Vancouver's favor, as now they don't need an 8-minute drive. They just need a 5-minute drive. Field goal wins it.
Yeah, they can take it all down, but a lot of times they've actually probably had about 20 more yards right to go when they've gotten the ball. So, are they going to milk it down that way? I don't know. But look, the 2 interceptions by Christian Brown. Well, not two turnovers. 2
turnovers by Vancouver, and they start things off with a great run. Jalen Wells is able to pick up 10, get a first down on the first carry.
And being able to just get there, like you said, I mean, they're creating nice running lanes for the running back right now. Being able to do it. Look, Jalen Wells, 80 yards on the day.
Nick Lockett already returned from his injury. Jason Peace is still out. Draw play up the middle. King Henry gets the tackle. Picks up 7, and the clock continues to roll.
I can honestly say, I don't know who's going to win this game, but Vancouver seemingly, for some, and they're losing right now, by the way, but they seem like they've had this game in control, and they just randomly lose control and everything else, and now Houston's winning, and it's just Houston has had their opportunities.
Hit in the backfield, picked up a first down. It's just ridiculous. Jalen Wells just able to take the Headhunters for a ride.
Wow, such power by that young man, being able to take on 2 defenders and then carry them for about 4 to 5 yards to pick up the first down.
Empty backfield now. Brown to throw, threw a pick last time, goes deep, finds John Michael Sudduth in on man coverage. Bernardo Harris, first down and 10 inside 4.
And you know what you do in those moments? You throw to the biggest guy downfield, and that's John Michael Sudduth. Right, jumps up and grabs it. Nobody that is going to catch it except him. He's just a very, very large human being. But this is going to put, look, Vancouver's got to, look, they got to stay clean.
They got to stay clean, and they almost don't want to score too fast and leave too much time for Houston. Goes back down to the ground. And gets another 3-yard pickup, but the way, I mean, at this point, Gerald, they could run it all the way down to the 2-minute warning and make Houston burn up all their timeouts.
I would do exactly that because you're in prime position right here, right? Make them go the length of the field because look, chance to win. It's damn near a chip shot from here. So run it down, run the play clock all the way down as far as you can go, and then just pound the rock.
Run up the middle, breaking through a couple of tackles. First down and goal now.
Wow, that was a generous spot.
That is a generous spot. Not worth challenging it, honestly, but we might see a challenge. But I think that would be a bad move, and Demond Simeon keeps the
yard short.
Yeah, keeps the flag in his pocket, though. I definitely think he was short, but I think they would have picked it up.
Oh,
running straight up the gut, 2nd down and goal. See, that time I thought I thought he got in.
He could have been in. Look, you might see the head coach here do it. Throw it right there.
Jalen Wells, 91 yards now on 20 carries. In the shotgun.
Wow.
On 2nd and goal from the 1-inch line.
There's no way I'd be playing.
Brown hands it off. Draw. Touchdown Vancouver. They reclaim the lead with 2:23 to go.
Now, is Vancouver going to go for 2 points here? Right now that they got there, they took up a lot of time being able to get down there and do it. You have to go for 2 points here. A field goal doesn't beat you. But guess what does? A touchdown and 2 points beat you. Well, a touchdown and an extra point will beat you. And guess what? Houston, and they're kicking the extra. No, they're not.
No, they're going for 2.
It's a shotgun.
Yep.
Oh, they're going to rerun what they just did. Same setup.
Houston looks like they might be ready for it this time. They hand off the draw, and they do not get it. 5-point game, so a touchdown still wins it for Houston as they get the ball back. And, you know, we haven't seen yet in this one, Gerald, kick return touchdown.
Oh, wow, here we go. Look, is it going to be Corky, Dearson? They need to watch who they're going to kick it to back there because we know Corky's been taking a lot of the returns.
Corky has been taking a lot of the returns so far in this one, but DR Sim last week with a kick return touchdown. This one going into the end zone, and DR Sim has it in his hands, returns it up past the 20, breaks a tackle, gets up to the 27-yard line.
I thought he was gone. He broke that first one, and then he had a guy on his hip, and that guy was able to just latch onto him and drag him down. But look, when Houston got a little bit of the momentum back right before half, it was in their 2-minute type offense. It's what they did and how they did it was in a 2-minute type offense. So we're going to see if they can recapture that magic that they had right before half with running a 2-minute offense.
A turnover does not end the game, but it certainly makes it pretty tough. As they're going to start off on the ground. Tino Sosa able to pick up 2, and that will probably bring us to the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, let you go there. Just get a breather, right? Regroup. Take a little bit of a timeout, right? A game timeout to kind of think about how are you going to play these next 2 minutes.
2 minutes to go here in the last of the semifinal games. Vancouver out in front, 26-21 over Houston. But the Headhunters with the ball, one last chance to get back into the end zone to send their team to the championship for the first time since season 6. Empty backfield look for the Headhunters, and they'll put Greg Corky in motion.
And they got no empty set.
All 3 timeouts. Field goal does nothing. 4-down territory from here on out. Lakeman throws over the middle and completes that one to Daisy Peace. A great completion to continue this drive.
Yeah, guess what? Jason Peace is nowhere to be found, but Daisy comes up really big, just so they can continue this drive as they're looking to get inside of Vancouver territory.
Minute 30 to go. Sosa with the carry and tackled on the play. Man, so much potential with those runs, but this Vancouver defense just stifling.
Man, and Russell was dodging a block from Rivera, chasing after him to be able to put that block. If Rivera makes that block, Could be looking at something a little bit different.
Sosa able to get a good chunky yardage there. Picks up 5, 3rd down and 3 coming up. Houston burns their first timeout. Still 2 downs to get the first here, Gerald.
And you can do anything right here, right? With the timeout you take, right? You probably gave Tino Sosa a little bit of a breather to be able to get back in there. He is your bell cow back.
Lakeman to throw, checks that one down to Rivera. Rivera trying to get the first, can't do it. 4th down and 1. And second timeout called. Now, if there's a turnover on downs, Vancouver wins this game. They need this first down. They will not be able to get the ball back.
They do need this first down, and it's 1 yard, little over a yard right here to gain. So, and they coming out in a spread. What are they going to do? And they're playing off. The defense is playing off. They got short out routes.
Houston 2 of 6 on 4th down this season. The Lakeman throws deep, batted away and incomplete. Vancouver's going to win the game and go back to the championship to take on Mexico City.
Man, they played such a deep zone right there, and they went in the worst possible place. They threw right into the zone right there, and oh man, they should have. The Lakeman should have let that little, that route tree mature just a little bit longer to find somebody open. He had the protection he needed, and it just wasn't meant to be.
Couple of kneel downs is all it'll take for Vancouver. Now Christian Brown back out under center, kneels it down. Final timeout called by Houston. And just a great game all around for both squads, but in particular Vancouver, who knew just what they needed to do. They stuck to the game plan. Even when they ended up finding themselves down early on in the 3rd quarter, Gerald, they just stuck to it. They knew they could keep on running, and they would keep on finding those small chunks of yards that they needed to keep getting first downs and find their way back to the end zone, and they did with just a couple minutes to spare. And here they are heading back to their 2nd consecutive championship game. It'll be a rematch from season 24.
Yep, look, and Houston fought really hard to stay in this game, and they were in it, and they had opportunities on the previous drive before Vancouver went down and put up that touchdown. They got the ball back on 4th down, right? They got an interception there. They could have had some time and made Vancouver go the length of the field to make it a little bit tough, but they just could not get their offense where it needed to be, and they had the punt. Vancouver scored a touchdown, but Houston once again had an opportunity to go down there and do it, and they just could not get it done. Very, very good season by Houston, and Vancouver here now meets Mexico City once again in the SFL Championship.
You're going to want to heat up those Thanksgiving leftovers because the 25th SFL Championship game takes place at Zolnir Championship Field in Baltimore, Maryland, next Friday, November 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Pre-game starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's the biggest spectacle, my goodness, in virtual football world, and it's right here on the Virtual Football Network. Mexico City and Vancouver in back-to-back championship games. It's going to be a great one, Gerald. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, look, and it's going to be fun, whatever else. Last time we seen back-to-back teams getting a championship, the exact same team. I do believe it was somewhere with the Tallahassee Pride and the Alaska Storm and back-to-back seats. So it's going to be really good to see if this time, hey, do we get a different result? But I will tell you this, it will be a great game.
This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League on the Virtual Football Network. For Gerald Smith, Eddie Gage, Justin Reside, Cameron Irvine, and Matt Wilson, who's always with me in spirit, I'm Mike Daggs. Thanks for joining us. Be kind to one another. Always choose happy, and have yourselves a great night.